Welcome to the Snarky in the Suburbs podcast. This podcast deals with poop. We start out with a Dear Snarky letter about a house getting toilet papered and end with a snarky confession that does indeed deal with poop. So if you want to quit listening now, I totally understand. If you're going to stay with me and give me a chance, then I thank you. I thank you. Okay, I want to start with this letter because it's about toilet paper in your house. But that's just the surface. This goes so much deeper than just getting your house toilet papered. Let me bring up the letter. Okay, here we go. Dear Snarky, several weeks ago, my daughter got married in a beautiful wedding ceremony that took place in our backyard. We have a rather large backyard, and for years, it's always been my dream for one of my girls to get married in it. My problem is that the morning of the wedding, my husband and I woke up to our front yard being TP'd or toilet papered. I checked our security cameras and it clearly shows our neighbor's 13-year-old son and a friend toilet papered our yard. To be clear, getting my yard toilet papered wouldn't have been that big of a deal if it wasn't the morning of my daughter's wedding. I called my neighbor, who I considered a good friend, to come over and take a look at the video, and I was hoping her family would volunteer to clean up our yard because, her son toilet papered the yard. That did not happen. She looked at the video but refused to believe it was her son when it clearly was, as in, no doubt about it, he had his baseball jersey on with his name on it. I was furious, but my husband talked me down and said, let's not make the wedding about our yard getting TP'd. He called a friend with a landscaping service and they got it picked up very quickly. Meanwhile, at the wedding, yes, I invited all of my neighbors. This friend comes up to me and says, it's so sad about your front yard. I hope you find out who did it. What the F? The video was clear thanks to our floodlights and, her kid's jersey with the name on it. She has been keeping up this whole charade. I hope you find out who did it for a couple weeks now, and I am ready to scream, your effing kid did it. That's who. How do I get her to shut up and leave me alone? Because this friendship is now over. Signed, it's not the toilet papering my yard on the morning of my daughter's wedding. It's the line. Well, amen to that, sister. Throwing my phone down, sorry. Amen to that. Yeah, it is the line. I don't get any part of this. Let's break it down. One, she knows for a fact her kid and a friend, middle school kids, 2 boys, toilet papered your yard. Not only, you said, could they clearly be seen in the video, thanks to your floodlights, but the kid, for in the love of God, had his baseball jersey with his name on it. I mean, does she think you're stupid? I'm sure that's what you're like, what? What? And a normal person would have said, oh my God, he is in so much trouble. Give me 5 minutes. I'm going over to get my husband, my son, and what other family members we have, and we will get this cleaned up immediately. That would be what a normal person would say. Now, why this woman cannot admit that her son TP'd a yard, I don't get. It's kids TP yards, okay? So that's not something you would have to lie about. Yeah, he did it. I'm incredibly sorry. And fix the matter for you so the morning, of your daughter's wedding, you don't have to worry with cleaning the TP out of your yard. Now, did this kid do it maliciously? I don't know. I don't think middle school boys think that hard. I just think, oh, you're a neighbor. You probably have some really nice trees. Let's TP their yard. But your friend not admitting it when the evidence is staring her in the face, I don't understand. What I also don't understand is her coming up to you at your daughter's wedding and just pushing your buttons. I hope you find out who did it. I mean, what? Who does that? A crazy neighbor. And then just keep on saying that. I mean, is she trying to convince you? Does she think if I say this 10 times fast, it's going to make it true that my son didn't do this? It is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I realize that you want to tell your neighbor to, F off. I'm going to advise you not to do that. And this is what I call a good neighbor policy. You may hate your neighbors. You may find your neighbors beyond irritating, and you may discover that a neighbor you thought was a friend is indeed crazy or has the biggest pair of mom goggles on with blinders about her kid that's ever been experienced in the history of the free world. So, I would do this. I would have a cordial but chilly relationship with her. This is when you look at your neighbor and you give him the head. Y'all, just the head pop, like you see him, just the head. Maybe a slight hand raise, not a full wave, but the slight raise. Like your fingers don't even extend all the way. So it's a head bop and maybe a hand. That's it. Because you don't want to live in a neighborhood where you don't like to go in your front yard because you're going to see your neighbor and you hate each other and there's going to be tension. You don't want to always feel like you have to put your car in the garage because you don't want to ever see your neighbor. You're punishing yourself. So you need to keep a cordial but chilly relationship. A relationship where you can do the head nod, okay, fling, a small hand wave, not even giving the full extension of your fingers, and just keep it at that. That way you can go, experience your neighborhood without major awkwardness. And if this former friend with the mom goggles comes over and finally goes, it just seems like there's some tension in our relationship, maybe then's the opportunity to say, I need you to explain to me why you would not admit that your son toilet papered the yard. But, that said, I wouldn't even do that. It's a waste of breath. She's never going to believe anything. She's never going to think her little, precious yum-yum, her middle school yum-yum, did anything wrong. And you're just wasting your time and you're getting yourself more agitated. You know what? Just use my favorite, I've been so busy. Oh, I've been so busy. And leave it at that. And then just, continue your chilly but cordial relationship. She deserves nothing more. And remember, the only reason you're doing chilly but cordial, it is a gift to yourself because you want to be able to go out in your front yard and not be afraid that, you're going to feel tension with the neighbor. Because that's awful. I've never experienced that because I am expert level in the chilly but cordial and in the wave. The wave, this is kind of the claw wave, not the full extension wave. Expert level because I don't ever want to feel comfortable in my front yard. I don't ever want to have to run to my car because there's the neighbors. Don't want that. So that is my advice. But oh God, I'm sorry, but I'm glad the wedding turned out great. I'm jealous that you've got this gorgeous backyard to have a wedding in. So well done, mama. Well done, mama. But that's my advice. Okay, now I've got a big peeve and a mini peeve. I'm going to start with my big peeve. Okay, because, it's high school graduation, college graduation, all that stuff starting up, getting in full swing. And my peeve is college. And my peeve is that pressuring kids that they have to go to college, making kids feel like they're losers perhaps if they don't go to college. Absolutely nonsense. Not everyone should go to college. Not everyone wants to go to college. Not everyone needs to have a college education. College is way too expensive. It's expensive. If you don't want to be there, if that is not your skill set, you should not go. Also, you should not pressure a kid to go to college. Not everyone wants to go, and not everyone's college material. And that's great. Let me tell you, and I've ranted about this before, but try to stop me from ranting about it again. With my Bachelor of Arts degree in communications and journalism, let me tell you, there's not a plumber, there's not an electrician, there's not a car mechanic that have not surpassed me tenfold, probably 30-fold in the money they're making, okay? So there's a lot of good ways to make money without going to college. All those people are educated in their field, the electrician, the plumber, the car mechanic. I couldn't do their jobs because I'm a dum-dum. But they did not need to go to a 4-year university and accrue volumes of debt for a degree they didn't want. They wanted to do what they felt their talent was at. And I think that's, instead of pushing kids to go to college, we should go, where's your passion? Where's your talent? What do you like to do? Can you make a living? The whole passion thing, what's your passion? I must admit to you now, this should be a snarky confession, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm the dream killer in my family. My kids call me the dream killer because I was raised, my dad said, whatever you do, do what you love, pursue what you love, which you could do back in, 1979, because jobs are a lot easier to come by. I would no more tell my kids to pursue what they love, to pursue their passion, than I would toilet paper my neighbor's yard. It's too hard to find a job. You have to pursue perhaps a secondary passion that will make you employable. So this is the reason my daughter majored in dance, but then also had to major in finance because she double majored. Because I'm like, honey, we don't have a trust fund. There is no way you can go to college for 4 years and just get a dance degree. So that girl had to hustle. She had to do two things at once because, I want my kids to be fully employed and to be happy. So that was that. My son knew what he wanted to do, and it was a good fit. So I kind of killed his dream because he wanted to go into aerospace engineering. And I'm like, you don't have the math skills for aerospace engineering. Y'all, this is me, again, the dream killer. So he went into another field, and, has he thanked me for that? A couple of times he has thanked me. He's, thank God I didn't, I should have listened to you from the outset. This is what I like to hear. I have a journal I keep, just kidding, but I write down when my kids say thanks and say that I'm right. So far, it's just a page because they don't say it that often, but yeah, someone's got to be the dream killer. My husband doesn't have the personality to kill dreams, but I do. And I will be the dream killer that will benefit my kids in the long run. So there's that. And I don't feel guilty about it. It's common sense, people. It's hard love or whatever. It's just like, you're not going to make a living at that. And I know you don't want to live at home. So let's rethink that. Let's rethink that passion. Let's redirect that passion. Can you do two things at once? Can you get 2 degrees in very different majors? Check that out. Can you do it? Then that's what you need to do. So anyways, yeah, college, it's not for everyone, nor should it be. Also, the expense of college is outrageous. I was so happy when my daughter graduated. It is outrageous. There is no reason college should be this expensive. And I know data proves out once student loans started, college was like, wee, we're going to raise the price and get all these kids in debt. It's evil. I think it's evil. There's no way college needs to be that expensive. They started making, the dorms like 5-star apartments and all this kind of stuff. My kids never got to benefit that. They did not go to schools with those bougie dorms. But the dorms are probably a lot cheaper because of that. Anywho, that is my rant about college. We need to quit pressuring kids. And I know in the high school that my kids attended, the guidance counselors never looked outside college. It was always college. I'm like, there's kids in this high school that are too smart for college. Seriously, their talents lie elsewhere, and they'll make like a crap ton of money doing those talents. So maybe you should just quit shoving college and making people feel bad or making parents feel like they didn't parent well if their kids don't go to college. That needs to stop. Can we normalize that, people? Can we? I hate that thing, Ruse. Can we normalize? I'm like, all right, just say it. We need to do it because the other way sucks. I prefer that than can we normalize? Now, into the baby peeve. Here we go with the baby peeve. Y'all, I do so many Dear Snarky letters. And if you're not, listening to me, watching me on TikTok and Instagram, it's your loss. I'm just going to say it straight out. No, I'm kidding. But am I kidding? And I'll do these letters about weddings, and people, brides will talk about their expensive weddings or saving for a wedding or their parents not helping with their wedding. You name it. Always, I can count on sometimes 50 comments from people about how much they spent on their wedding, what they did for their wedding. Like, we just went to the courthouse, and we just, I got married in 1979 and I spent $5,000 on our wedding, blah, blah, blah. Well, one, I don't care that you spent $5,000 in 1979 because you need to tell me what that price would be today. You need to adjust that for inflation and what that is in 2025 money, because then I can rationalize it. I can okay, yeah, that was, maybe $5,000. I don't know. I'm not doing the math. In 1979 was like a crap ton of money to spend on a wedding. So maybe you bragging that you only dropped $5,000 means you still had a very expensive wedding back in 1979. So I don't like it. Also, and I would never do this because it would be mean, but I will say it on my podcast. Just because you had a small wedding, or you went to the courthouse, or you eloped, or you made everything yourself for your wedding, which is great. I can never do that. Not a crafty bone in my body. Doesn't make you a saint. Doesn't make you better than anyone else. Okay, I take that back. It makes you better than a bride who blows a bunch of money on a wedding. If she has it to blow, that's her business. But if she doesn't have it to blow and she's penalizing guests to help pay for that wedding, then I'm going to make it my business. So yeah, it doesn't make you better than anyone that you chose to have a small wedding. It may make you smarter. In today's world of big bridal, it's the big bridal industrial complex. If you choose to have a small wedding, I'm going to say right now, it makes you smarter, in my opinion, because you're saving money. And life is so expensive, especially if you're young and starting out. I don't think you need to blow it on a wedding, but that is your choice. That is absolutely your choice. I had a wedding in 1984 with a bunch of people. I have no idea how much it cost. My parents would never tell me how much it cost. My dad said it was none of my business, and I'm fine with that. So I can never say, like, oh, my parents spent such on my wedding, because I don't know. They took that with them to their grave. So I don't know. It was great. It was a lovely wedding. That's all I know. But I do not like people sharing about their weddings and thinking that, there's a medal in it because they had they went to the courthouse. Another thing, and I've talked about this before, but I love to repeat myself. When people write me with problems about their wedding or soon-to-be in-laws or parents, and people in the comments will go, just elope. Why should someone sacrifice having a wedding and having friends at their wedding and elope because they have a parent that's problematic or a sibling that's problematic? Maybe the parent and the sibling need to take a hike. I don't think you should have to elope and not have a wedding you want and not be surrounded by friends and family because you have problematic family members. You should get security and not invite them. That's exactly what you should do. That, if you don't want to elope. But the elope thing's stupid too. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. It's dumb. It's not well thought out. Because I would not want it to have eloped. I wanted to get married with, friends and family and the people that loved me and knew me and saw me grow up. That's how I wanted to have a wedding. I wouldn't have wanted to elope. So instead of saying elope as your knee-jerk reaction to bridal problems, say, don't invite them and get security. That is your 2025 version of elopement. You're welcome, people. You're welcome. Okay, now I'm going to go to my confession. We started with toilet paper and we're going to end with poop. My confession from the Snarky Confessional is the scoop on poop. I've talked about poop before, and you know what? We're talking about it again. Different story, but the journey of my bowels is the story of my life, people. The story of my life. So because I've been on TikTok and Instagram 5 times, is it 5? 5 times I've been approached, just very, inquiries. Hey, we're doing a reality show. We'd like to consider you to be on this reality show. Do you want to talk to us about it? Most are hard pass. No, I don't even want to talk to you about it. But 2 times. 2 times I've actually wanted to say, yeah, I'll talk to you about it. I check them out to make sure I'm not being scammed or punked or whatever. And I have a couple friends who live in LA and they can check them out. They'll go, oh yeah, this is a real deal. This is a real thing. So on 2, I made it pretty far. You have to take, first they interview you, and then they send the interview off to the executives and they look at it or whatever. And then you go through the different hoops. You have to take personality tests, probably failed that. I don't think so. I think the more outrageous you are or the bigger bitch you are, they're like, hell yeah, let's get her on there. So there were 2 and I've made it really far until we came to a crucial part of an interview where it was, I was asking the questions. And it was a no-go for me. So I asked about the availability of bathrooms. Will there be bathrooms? Will they be nice bathrooms? They cannot be porta potties unless it's one of those really nice porta potties that's in a trailer and it looks exactly like a really nice restroom, because I do not go anywhere where I cannot have access to excellent pooping facilities. It's just the way I am. I gotta have it. I mean, it's important to me. Sometimes I have tummy troubles, as I've shared, and I have to have ready access. I'm not going to squat in the woods. I'm not going to dig a hole in the forest and use that as my restroom. I will do none of the above. I'm not going to hold it. I'm not going to use a porta potty because of my fear of snakes coming up there and getting me via the porta potty. Plus, they're nasty. They are nasty. They're filthy. They're nasty. You'll get a disease, people. So I would ask about this. I was being interviewed by this one guy, and I inquired, okay, yeah, what's the bathroom situation going to be? And he goes, what are you talking about? And I explained to him that I had certain bathroom requirements, and it was a no-go if they weren't met. And he goes, no one's ever asked us that before. And I go, I can't believe no one's ever asked you about availability of restrooms. So he starts telling me what the bathroom sitch is. And I'm like, not just no, but oh, hell no. It was like in the forest, do your business. No. Even as a child, I could not do my business in a forest. At a family picnic, no restrooms nearby. Just go over there and go to the bathroom. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is a phobia. I don't know what you want to call it, but no. People, I need a toilet. I need a nice ceramic bowl, okay? I need that. And I need it preferably in a climate-controlled environment with some kind of smell-good scent nearby. This is what I need. Also, I would like Charmin Ultra Ply, okay? 3-ply, okay? Sensitive skin, and I don't do one-ply toilet paper. I think I've reached an age in life at 64 where I can demand that there is not one-ply toilet paper. These demands could not be met. There would be primitive toilet facilities. And once I heard primitive, I said, peace out. This girl is not doing it. I can't do it. There would be issues. So the guy didn't think I was serious. He's laughing. He goes, oh, that's a funny bit. I go, it's not a bit, sir. It is my life. My bowels dictate my life. And then he's like, you're serious? And I go, hell yeah, I'm serious. So I was cut from that show. Then this other reality show. Oh, and I've seen the reality show. It looks dreadful. There's no way. Those poor people having to suffer. No, thank you. Then there was this other show, and you would be like traveling a lot. It's not The Amazing Race. I wouldn't go in that because I'm the directionless wonder. I think I have a good sense of direction until I'm with my husband and he tells me I have a horrible sense of direction. And I think he's wrong. Just saying. So, okay, for example, so we're in London and he's looking at his phone the whole time. And I'm like, there's signs. Just look at this. Lift up your head and, there went the mic. Experience what's around you and read the freaking sign that's pointing to Buckingham Palace, sir. But no, if it's not on his phone, it's wrong. I'm not that person. I'm the person that can look around and find context clues to determine where I'm going. So that does not make me a directionalist wonder. So anyways, it was one of those on the road shows. And he's like, oh, you'll be in the modes of transportation are this and that. And one of the main modes was a bus. One of the main modes of transportation was I would be on a bus. And I'm like, what kind of bus? I go, does the bus have a bathroom? What's the bathroom like on the bus? He's like, we haven't contracted a bus company yet. We don't know. And I go, well, I couldn't say yes to this until I had evidence of what the bathroom facilities would be like. Because as we all know, I remember being on a bus. It was a high school trip. That bus bathroom still haunts me to this day. Not just the smell, which was egregious. And the CDC should have been called just because of that smell. Probably took a couple years off my life. But the cleanliness of all those people using that bathroom, especially if you're sharing a bathroom with boys, high school boys, disgusting. Next level disgusting. And he goes, well, we don't know. And I go, well, I can't give you an affirmative until I know what those facilities are going to be like. And I'm thinking I could pack my own Charmin 3-ply, ultra soft. So, that's okay. Yeah, he couldn't do that. He goes, so is this if this doesn't happen, is that you're done? And I'm like, I am 100% done. So this is how I could have had maybe reality star greatness, people. Reality star greatness. Little old me. But I couldn't because my bowels, the princess. I have princess bowels and they must be bowed down to and not neglected. Couldn't do it. Yeah. What's that lady who said that in the White Lotus? I'm too old to give up a certain way of life. I'm too old to give up a clean porcelain toilet with good toilet paper, ventilation, and a little smell good thing beside. Not going to do it. I can't. You know what? I can't rough it. I'm a weak person. I cannot do that kind of stuff. So there's me. Maybe perhaps, like I said, eschewing reality star greatness because of my bowels. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I wouldn't want to get backed up. I wouldn't want to get the diarrhea. I wouldn't, you know what? If you don't treat your bowels right, they protest. And I've learned to listen to them. So, like I said, one of the reality shows has already been on. The other one hasn't been on yet. But yeah, I'll watch it. And maybe, I'll see what those bathroom facilities look like. The forest, using the forest as a restroom where you dig a hole and then you cover the stuff. Ugh. No. And A bus bathroom? How many people are going to be sharing that bus? How long are you going to be on the bus? You know, are they cleaning that out? That sanitation system, whatever the stuff goes in? I don't know. And since I didn't know, Princess Bowels had to take a hard pass. And what's good is my family knows about my Princess Bowels and they don't question me. They know that the bowels are in charge on any trip and we listen to the bowels. Or else, you know what happens? You poop your pants outside Buckingham Palace. That's back in, I don't know, podcast 1 or 2. Go back and listen to it. But there you go. That's my story. That's my confession. And if you're going, ew, disgusting, my deepest apologies for that. Deepest apologies. Go out there and have a great day. I hope whatever bathroom you use today, that you've got some really nice 3-ply extra soft toilet paper. And it's a delight that your entire bathroom is delight. Okay, see you soon. Oh, y'all, I always do this. I'm not good at selling stuff, y'all. Read my books. There's a little click in the bio, which takes you to the Amazon, which takes you to the Snarky universe. Ebook, audiobook, paperback. Really super, super fun beach reads. So go do that. If you're on YouTube, what am I supposed to say? Hit like and subscribe. You can do that. People that are leaving comments, you're the nicest. You're the nicest. And I love just the comments about the show because we're a Snarky community. If you're now thinking, I'm not commenting on this show. You talked about toilet paper in your bowels for 30 minutes. Shut up, sister. Well, I respect that. I respect that. Okay, go out and have a great day. Fabulous day. Please do that.